Hollywood is finally admitting they have a network news crisis. New polling is out from one of their favorite pollsters that leaves little doubt. It's over. And thus, CBS News, Evening News, 60 Minutes, and all the changes Barry Weiss is bringing in are going to go through despite the shrieks, the screams, and the wailing of the reporters, now feeling there's no bailing them out. Hello, friends. Welcome back. There is no doubt you have arrived at the channel that has a real good time explaining entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do with a zeal even the Holly Weirds can feel. As we dive in, ladies and gentlemen, click that like button, drop a comment down below, and let's go back to the crazy world of a news industry gone amok. Hollywood is admitting it has a huge crisis of credibility with the news media. We'll tell you about it, but as we do, just remember that the news media, they're owned by the entertainment companies. There's not some giant news organization that just does news, at least not when it comes to network TV. They're all owned by entertainment companies. ABC owned by Disney, CBS owned by Paramount Skydance, NBC owned by Comcast. We could go on and on. Out of the independent CBS Evening News, which as you all know is changing under Barry Weiss, CBS Evening News joins Kristi Noem on an ICE raid after Barry Weiss's 60 Minutes controversy. Out of the independent, Josh Marcus. Just so you all know, things they are a-changing. This is what you're now tuning into on CBS Evening News, which is forcing truth to be told on the other networks, as well as truth to be told in Hollywood about what's happened. Now, why, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's not because they suddenly changed their political positions about any of this. No. That didn't happen. What's happening is they have realized they lost, and they've got to reconfigure all of this. Out of the Hollywood Reporter, again, the Hollywood Reporter, a Hollywood trade by Alex Whippen. Barry Weiss is making TV news crisis of confidence the big story. The big news here, the Hollywood Reporter is not denying the crisis. The CBS News chief is saying loudly and publicly what other execs and anchors are saying privately, but it isn't clear whether her gambit to save CBS will succeed where others have failed. I'm just going to scroll down, folks. It says, but that increasingly, you know what? We'll read the first two paragraphs. If we don't, you want to know what it's talking about. This will be a defining year for the future of TV news. High-stake midterms elections. What's next for the Dun Road Doctrine? After the shocking Venezuela raid, general sense of chaos, energy means every day, blah, 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 blah. But that increasingly important news cycle comes as Americans' trust in media has collapsed to an all-time low of 28%, according to Gallup. Now, what do we know? Ladies and gentlemen, if you think Gallup is swinging that sucker to the right, if you think Gallup is giving them a harsh score, it's probably lower than that. It's probably way lower than 28%. Gallup is as friendly as they can be to these folks. Gallup, which has been tracking that critical question since 1972, this is the lowest it's ever been, 28%. That is down from 40% in 2020 during the pandemic and far, far below the all-time high of 72% in 1976. They're not hiding it anymore. They're accepting it. They're rolling over. Are they going to put out articles where they complain about Barry Weiss? Yes. Are they going to say that they're mad that CBS Evening News is forcing ABC and NBC to finally cover centrist, moderate positions? We're not talking about conservative. We're just saying like in the middle. Sure, they're going to complain. They're going to whine. They're going to scream. They're going to shriek. They're going to do all that. But they can't change it anymore because now even the Hollywood trades who put out the official orthodoxy of LA, the Hollywood trades, Steve, are saying nobody trusts us, even if they're watching you. And statistically, what this means is there are people watching these news outlets when they don't believe a word they say. Steve, your thoughts on this one? I never thought they'd go belly up this quick in terms of trying to fight Barry Weiss, but boy, oh boy, they've shut up and they're giving up right now.
See, my thoughts are, if their mouths are moving, they're probably lying.
Yep.
But I think the tension is that, how do I word this? Barry's doing what all of them wish they could do in order to accomplish the thing that they know needs to happen.
And we need to insert here, Steve, Barry's not conservative by any means whatsoever. We're not We're not advocating for a conservative here.
Because remember, CNN tried doing the whole centrist push for like a week and a half, and the higher ups kind of came crushing them.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that they're actually scared of in admitting that she's trying to do what everyone else has failed at is she might actually have a chance at succeeding. I genuinely think she does have a chance because she's someone that is actually respected by both sides, even if they disagree. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Barry Weiss is a liberal person. I think she's classically liberal. I think she's come in. I think she has a laissez-faire kind of attitude for social stuff. And I think that she's come in and said, we're going to try to aim for building trust up. And that is completely and totally foreign to all of these people who thought that they could use this as the propaganda arm of the DNC. Yeah, and by the way, I want to show you how the old guard's still acting on this, okay? If you just search Barry Weiss, Google News, here's what you get. From the New Republic, Barry Weiss's new CBS project debuts and is a total disaster. The Independent, CBS Evening News joins Kristi Noem on an ice raid after Barry Weiss's 60 Minutes controversy. Advocate, Barry Weiss's CBS News reportedly clashed over how to cover people of a certain persuasion. Hollywood Reporter gives a positive one. Daily Cost, Barry Weiss's MAGA-approved CBS News host stumbles right out of the gate. HuffPost, Barry Weiss's handpicked CBS Evening News anchor just made his debut, and it's painful to watch. Guardian, blood in the water. Pointer, CBS New Era begins with press freedom concerns and technical stumbles. We can go on and on and on.
Yeah. So what's interesting is
it's all
this
negative.
is actually happening at the same time as in Canada. There's actually a big push from the Liberals. They're trying to put this petition out there to try and get the National Post defunded, or sorry, no, not defunded. Basically make it Canadian owned, because right now there is like American interests. I think it's 50% American owned or something like that, because it's like the Toronto Sun and a couple other organizations. And the Liberal government is trying to put a petition together to basically separate ownership so that it's only Canadian owned. The thing is, though, this is the only newspaper that's widely read that criticizes the Liberal government. And so now they will call balls and strikes. So when the Liberals do something decent, like they'll be like, hey, this was a good thing. And then they get ragged on by their readership. But it's just interesting that this is going on. You're seeing the Barry Weiss trying to play it down the middle, just kind of give the information. And up here, you're seeing the government trying to further crush basically journalism.
Yeah, Canada and Europe are both following the same model because their elections have gone a certain way that makes it difficult for their elections to ever go another way. And once that happens, the news media merges with government. I mean, that now they can pretend that there are all kinds of barriers, but that goes away, and it's unallowed to speak out anything other than the approved orthodoxy of the elites. Ron, what is making this so interesting is, Elon buys X. That was a huge deal. The Ellisons buy CBS. They put in Barry Weiss. And by the way, part of what they're trying to stop with this whole Warner Brothers deal is they don't want Ellisons to get a hold of CNN, which Warner Brothers owns, because then Barry Weiss gets in charge of CNN as well. Ron, what's making all this very hard on them is, as we just said, one, Barry Weiss, she's been paid essentially $150 million, so they're not getting rid of her. And then two, there's no trust in the media whatsoever after the pandemic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's really interesting. Earlier today, I came across in my feed, and I think it was just a short, like a YouTube short, and it was Megyn Kelly saying...
oh, she hates Barry Weiss.
Yeah, like she really ragged on Barry Weiss, and I was like,
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. And it bothered me.
Singing Barry's praises. Okay, I'm sorry.
Let me explain that, Steve. So the reason that Megyn Kelly probably right now hates Barry Weiss, set aside the Ben Shapiro stuff for a minute. The reason is because if Barry Weiss moderates a news network, there are those in the new media, right? The new media, which would be like the Young Turks, All In Podcast, PBD, et cetera, okay? Megyn Kelly is one of those that believes that if the network news moderates, it takes away the reason that she exists, right? She exists as this counter-truth platform in the new media. So I think there's a fear there anyway.
Yeah, and that's basically that's what I was saying. And what bothered me about it is, as somebody who I have kind of watched Megan and trusted the voice, I'm like, that it didn't come across as genuine when she was doing it. I'm like, that was really, really odd because it didn't even feel like Megyn Kelly. Like, so it was this, and that's strange because I don't want to see that from new media. I want to see new media. I don't care what their side they're on. I want to see them be honest, which is exactly what I want to see from CBS News. And that's what Barry Weiss is trying to do, is simply make the news honest again. Is that so difficult? Apparently it is. But you look at that poll by Gallup, of all things, not even a Rasmussen poll, right? And it tells you that nobody left or right trusts any of the news out there, and
that's right.
You don't trust any of the sources. Even the people that watch MS Now probably don't trust MS Now. There's probably a very small percentage that clamor onto it, because finally people are waking up to the fact that we are served our bubble. And when we're not, like, you're scrolling down X and you're seeing something that is particularly designed to upset you, that shouldn't be in your feed, and it's like, okay, all of this stuff is algorithmic, right? And I think we're getting sick and tired of it. We talked about AI before and how that could serve us with those advertisements. The same thing happens with the news, and it's scary. I think that even though AI is very realistic, we're going to be able to detect it on some level. Just the human connection of it. And with the news, we want to see it. I don't know if Barry Weiss is going to be successful with this. I hope that there's some degree of success, because I want it to force other organizations to have their news be balanced, be fair, be putting out their honest reporting, so that we can see both sides, and not, hey, we are going to run footage from something 5 years ago, say that it was now, or not say anything about it. We'll just let the audience assume that this is happening now as part of this story. And they do that all the time to manipulate you. We're tired of being manipulated. I just want the news. I just want to know what happened. And it's scary because right now you can't trust any of it. Except for like guys like us who we're just here, like, this is us. It's not. I don't have my skin in the game one way or another, because I'm not taking a handout from anybody.
Derek, the great news is, if people are tuning in to the DA, your YouTube channel, if you get it wrong over and over, they'll go away. And that is the responsiveness that can happen with the new media that just doesn't exist when there's 3 networks that control the airwaves.
Yeah, you got to be honest if you're doing this, and that's the whole thing. I think Barry Weiss is just reading the room, and she's getting ahead of the curve, because, both sides have had their, biases towards one, ideology or the other. And people are sick of it. People just want the truth, and that's why Nick Shirley's video just, went absolutely nuts, because people saw okay, this guy is just out there with a phone talking to people, and we can literally see what's happening in real time. And he's interviewing them, he's talking to them, and he's trying to get information, and they're acting real cagey. And that's the kind of information that people have been starving for. What's really going on out here in the world, and what is the media not telling me? Because the media immediately came out. What did they say? Oh, he's a right winger and he's just pushing a propaganda message. And people are like, wait a minute, I just watched 42 minutes of a guy just asking questions, and you're trying to tell me that I didn't see what my eyes just saw? Okay, now I really don't believe what you're telling me, okay? That's the problem. They have been doing this over the last 5 years, all right, ever since the pandemic. And people are starting to wake up and say, you know what, I actually will trust some YouTuber that's just out there trying to find out some answers and asking questions that I myself would ask, rather than some, media propaganda site or, network that just wants to push a certain narrative. And then, you start like, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. What's the name of the guy on CNN? Scott Jennings, I think that's who it is. And he pushes back every single time on Abby Phillips, and I love it, okay? Because if he wasn't there, Abby Phillips would just run roughshod and just spew all of this nonsense, and nobody ever pushes back against her, all right? But here's Scott Jennings, and they must hate his guts, because he comes in and he tells them, hey, What about this? What about that? Are you guys looking at this thing correctly? And a lot of people are starting to get swayed by that. So I think Barry Weiss is just saying, you know what? The jig is up. Okay. We got to start telling folks the truth. And we're going to try to play it down the middle instead of trying to pit one side against the other. You know, I think that's what people are waiting for.
I think so too. Lauren, can you believe that Wilton actually has higher approval ratings than the national news in the United States? Can you believe that, Lauren?
And Congress too, I'm certain. I'm a big supporter when he's torturing Jonas and Marvin.
Well, you know, we might get some of that real soon. Often as we get ready to wrap these up, folks, you'll hear us say, keep learning, keep growing, keep having fun. And the reason we do it is because we appreciate you. It's true, we do. And we want you to have a good time. Thank you for giving us the great time of spending time with you. Folks, on the way out the door, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it and stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below because you matter. Your thoughts matter. Who cares what the legacy corporate deadbeat media tells you? You really are important. And we're a testament to that. We wouldn't be here without folks just like you. And since we've said it, we'll say it once more. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.